Power Rankings 2019. All right, so these are my power rankings for corporations that make tools for indie filmmakers. We're going to go ahead and start with Canon. All right, Canon. It's been a while since you've helped us out, us indie filmmakers. You've been holding back a lot of the tools, cropping at 4K, giving us bad 4K on some of the cameras, holding back at 24p on some of the cameras. I'm giving you a big old C, but there's definitely room for improvement. All right, let's go ahead and go to Gopro. Action cameras, getting an F. I don't have to explain myself. All right, DJI. Now DJI is, they are a classic company that makes cameras that you have lots of fun with for a week, and then you just like put it on the shelf and you never use it again, or maybe you pull it out every like once every 6 months. They do make nice drones. I'm tired of drones. I have a friend that's a filmmaker, and he always puts drones in his films, and he's like, "Oh yes, this great production value." And I'm like, "Dude, they like 8-year-olds have drones now. It's not anything that special." And as per steady camera, I mean, it's good to have a steady camera, but I mean, you can hold the camera steady. You don't necessarily need a gimbal. I'm giving it a D. Thank you, guys. All right, let's go to Red. Daddy, I want a Red so I can be a cinematographer. Okay, Red's kind of lost their luster a little bit. I mean, they still make great cameras. The Gemini is a good low light camera. I'm going to go ahead and give them a solid B. Okay. Let's go to Nikon. Okay, I think they have like the Z camera that was I really know nothing about Nikon cameras. But that's the reason why they're really not reaching out properly to us indie filmmakers or giving us features that we use. I'm going to give them a D, just based on the fact that no one really uses Nikon cameras in the film industry. I mean, maybe there's a few outliers. They're mostly still cameras. All right, speaking of which, let's go to Blackmagic. All right. Okay, Blackmagic is an interesting company. I mean, they design cameras that they're like engineers design Blackmagic cameras that they've never used a camera before. Where the viewfinder is and battery consumption. I mean, they need to force the designers of Blackmagic to actually shoot for a week with their cameras. Maybe their cameras will improve actually functionally. I mean, it's great that they have great price points. The 4K, is a decent camera, the 4K Pocket. The only issue I have with that is, I mean, it's a very small sensor. And, there was one YouTuber that was showing, oh, it's great with low light when you put a $12,000 lens on it. And, that's cool. I mean, it's good. It's good if you have $12,000 to buy a lens or you rent a lens. But, I mean, some of these other cameras that have full frame, they just let more light in, and they're way more versatile. I mean, it's great to have RAW at $1,300. I'm giving them a B. They're standing right next to Red, neck to neck. We got the rich kid camera and the poor kid camera right next to each other. All right, let's go to Apple. I mean, it's basically an iPhone now. I mean, iPhones are great. Apple is an evil corporation, obviously. I mean, they all are, basically. I'm going to go ahead and, based on the fact that our iPhones are always in our pockets, and I mean, they're definitely, I mean, I think personally think that the iPhone shoots better than the DJI camera, shoots better than the GoPro. I mean, if it's lit properly, it can rival a lot of the other, higher end cameras. So, it's great to have, high speed options, time lapse options in your pocket. So I'm giving this C. All right, let's go with the heavy hitters. We're back. Well, semi heavy hitter. If we talk about Panasonic, let's go to Panasonic. Panasonic. I'm already. Panasonic came out with the Eva One, their first kind of full frame camera for us indie guys. I mean, decent camera, nice raw performance, kind of chintzy with the viewfinder. They have the S1, which is their full frame mirrorless camera. I'm giving them a C. That was a generous C. I mean, they're closer to D because they haven't they don't have the tools for making cinematic films. I mean, obviously, a lot of people like their Micro Four Thirds cameras. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers that use those. But when it comes to cinematic film, I'll stop talking about Panasonic. Let's get to the last ones. All right, Arri. Arri. Okay, Arri's very. I mean, it's industry standard. Like all the best films are made with Arri cameras. You mostly have to rent because the cameras are. I mean, the Arri Mini is like 60 grand, and the Alexa is over $100,000, but they are the best when it comes to making cinematic films. If you have a budget, go with Arri. All right, let's go to Sony, our final selection. I have such mixed emotions about Sony. I mean, Sony abuses us filmmakers so much. I mean, they give us these great tools and they don't put a mic jack in their $1,000 camera, or the cameras run at strange codecs that aren't as effective, and we have to use recorders. But when it comes to bang for the buck, I'm putting Sony right next to Arri because they make great full frame cameras. They have cameras that of all these different price ranges, and they're definitely an excellent tool when it comes to making films. I mean, all these cameras, all these companies make cameras that you can make a great cinematic, awesome film with the right knowledge. But those are my power rankings.